The town of Orleans is located right where the Cape takes a sharp turn north and stretches to both coasts. We found lots to do in Orleans, even in the late fall.
We are with Jessica Knight, and she is the owner of Home Court Restaurant here in Orleans. And so let me ask you, what's the history of this restaurant?
Well, it's a pretty cool history. I'm going to start with across the street. There used to be a beautiful Georgian house, and it's yellow, and it now was moved to Monument Road. It was on a big hill. And the owner of this property had a pharmacy in town on Main Street, Robert Pino. And so he asked the builders after they moved the house, can I have that hill to level my land? And he built a pharmacy here, and now across the street is the post office. And so he had a pharmacy, and then there was the ice cream counter in the back. And he realized it was just as much of a hassle doing the ice cream counter, or actually more, than it was doing the entire pharmacy. So he ended up branching that off to two women. One of them was Ethel Brown. Her son owned Texaco Brownies, the gas station in town. It's now Frank's Sitco. And so she and one of her friends had a restaurant for 2 or 3 years. Then they sold it to Jack, who had it till 94, and then I bought it in 1994. So it's just been 30 years that I've had it.
Oh my goodness. And I understand that you've been working at this restaurant since way back, since you were young.
Yes. My brother, who you met a little earlier, Nate, he had inherited the job from my older sister, Polly. Dishwashers, which are in high demand in the summer on Cape Cod. And so when my sister didn't come back, Jack asked, is there anyone else? And they sent Nate. And then when Nate would go golfing with the fry cook, he would have me cover his shift. So I was pretty young when I started.
Wow, and so you worked
Like
here all along?
Yes, every summer of my life. I like to say I bought my summer restaurant, or bought my summer job.
Wow,
Yeah.
Excellent. So you've been the owner since what year?
1994, June 1st, 1994.
Oh,
so
it's still quite a long time.
Yeah, so I
30
just
years,
celebrated
yeah.
30 years.
That's awesome. So what's the main idea of the menu here? Is it like an all-American, or how would you describe it?
I would describe it all-American, and we're really known for our breakfast. We have croissant French toast, and we'll do tons of different kinds of eggs Benedict, with hash or like Lisa, and we're known for our breakfast, but we're breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Right. So you're open for dinner now?
Yes, we just started that. I've got 2 fabulous cooks that were so energized, and I said, we used to do dinners. Do you want to do dinners? Because they've been doing dinners all along, but then we stopped for a few years because staffing was hard, and so they were excited, so they've taken up dinner at night, so it's very exciting for that.
My goodness, what are your hours then?
We're open at 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., but on Mondays and Tuesdays we close at 2 p.m. because they're not open for dinner those 2 nights, Monday and Tuesdays.
Okay, I understand that you're open like almost 365 days a year, right?
We are. We close Thanksgiving and Christmas.
And that's it?
Yes.
So, and you open rain or shine or a thunderstorm or a snowstorm, right?
Oh, yes. My husband, who's running around here somewhere, he and I walked into town on a snowstorm because I knew I was getting deliveries, and so many people came by to see if we were open. So I said, okay, honey, you're the one that's going to be out front and I'll be in the back. We did quite a business.
Oh, that's amazing. And even when the parking lot has been flooded?
Oh,
that's happened?
Yes. Oh, that was crazy, yes. It kind of dipped, so they had to park along, but yes. And a lot of times people will just stand inside and wait for it to stop raining with their coffee. Okay, I can make a dash and run out.
That's amazing. What is the most popular lunch item? What do you do at lunch?
We do a lot of clam chowder. We're really known for our Reubens. People love our Reubens. We have 3 kinds, actually 4. We have a pastrami panini Reuben, the regular Reuben, a turkey Reuben, and a fish Reuben. And everyone can change anything they want, and we do. We have some people that I know for a fact don't like tomatoes, or something like that, and I'll actually sometimes have to remind the new waitress. I'm like, oh, that's Todd's. He doesn't do that, or something like that.
You know your customers.
Yeah.
What about dinner? What kind of dinners do you have?
Oh, dinners. We've branched out into, we've got pad thai, and we've got different pasta dishes, and we've got a steak burrito. We have all sorts of things for dinner, which is an exciting, fun one.
Do you have some seafood too?
Yes, we have salmon, and we have cod, and we have fish and chips, or you could have it broiled, and so
Okay, and tell us about the ship that's back here on the wall.
All right, the ship in the back, that's the Charles Stewart, and I know who made the glass casing. That was Kurt Newcomb, but I don't know who did the ship.
Okay.
And then we've got a mural out front, and that's of the James Longstreet, and that was a Liberty ship that the U.S. Navy practiced bombing, and it was parked at Skakit, in between Skakit and Nauset. When I was a kid, you could always see the ship in the background, and a lot of people that grew up along Rock Harbor remember falling asleep to the bombing of the ship.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and then Kelly Knowles is a wonderful artist in town. My brother, when I first got the place, was really integral in like helping me figure out the menu and that sort of thing. And he's like, Kelly's a great artist, and so she made this painting, and then we kind of took elements of it and sketches of it and put it on the menu. So she's down by Rock Harbor, her art studio.
Oh, excellent. This seems like it's really a family affair too. Your husband's here, your brother, anybody else?
Actually, my sister met her husband at this table. I had called her in to waitress on a Thanksgiving weekend, and then he was here with his buddies.
That's awesome.
He'd come up from Rhode Island, so they met. So that's a fun thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What is the biggest challenge of running a restaurant?
Probably staffing. I want to say staffing is the hardest part, and I was very grateful. I have such a good, solid crew. We actually stayed open every day since we were allowed to open again after the pandemic.
Yeah.
A lot of places unfortunately had to close like 1 or 2 days a week, but I've got a staff that'll be like, okay, what do you need? So they're great.
Excellent. And what do you like most about it?
The cooking. I'm rarely out front. Probably in this, people will be like, who is that? And I'm always in the back cooking. So when I know I have a full staff and it's a Sunday morning and we're really busy, that's my favorite thing.
Excellent. Did you learn to cook here?
Yes. Oh, this is the only restaurant I've ever worked in.
Okay.
And so I started, dishwashing, and then as summers went by, they had me host, but then they brought me in the kitchen to cook, and so I've been cooking since the mid-'80s.
Excellent. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. We can't wait to have breakfast. It's really nice to meet you.
It was so nice to meet you guys. Enjoy.
Thank you.
I am here with a nice breakfast delight, which is English muffin, cheese, bacon, tomato, and I can't wait to get a bite. And I think I've got a big mouth. Maybe I'll just take a little.
You can do it, Marcia.
This is good. I agree with your brother in that this is one of his specials, and it's really good. I'm going to enjoy this.
I'm here with I believe it's the 2x2x2. Is that what we have here?
2x2. Noah's 2x2.
2x2. Okay. And we've got the home fries. We've got sausage buried under my mound of toast here. Some eggs, over easy, of course, and some pancakes. So we're going to start here with of course, the obligatory syrup.
Real maple syrup.
Real maple syrup here. And Marcia, I'm also going to ask you to pass the Tabasco. Great fluffy pancakes and real maple syrup with the perfect amount of butter, of course. A little Tabasco for these eggs and home fries, just because we like it a bit spicy. Let's give it a go.
Are these homemade?
The right amount of crisp, right amount of flavor, some herbs and spices on there to bring the whole thing home. I love it.
I have the pumpkin bread French toast, which, you know, it's pumpkin, it's fall, it's got real maple syrup. What's not to like? I just had, you know, it was calling to me. Well, let's see. Really good pumpkin flavor. And this is the thing to get in the fall. And with the real maple syrup, you can't beat it. You gotta get it. All right.
We're here with Ann Stradell at the Orleans Historic Society, and she's going to help teach us about the history of Orleans. Can you start by when was it established?
Established, well, we want to go to the very, very beginning.
Oh, definitely. Go.
We're going back as many as 14,000 years.
Ooh, okay.
When the Nauset tribe of the Wampanoag Nation lived here.
Okay.
Fast forward to 1602, when Bartholomew Gosnold, who was an English explorer, came over. He made it over to Maine, and then he maneuvered his way down and said, "Oh, look at all the fish," and called it Cape Cod.
That's where the name
That's where
came?
it came from, yes.
Wow, never knew that.
Martha's Vineyard also did
Yeah.
too, because his daughter was Martha. Anyway, so then 1605, Samuel de Champlain, the French explorer, saw all these encampments on the Nauset shore, and it turned out that was the Nauset tribe who lived there. So then we get into the Mayflower. That's the good stuff. In 1620, one of two families who survived that first winter. It was half of the people on the Mayflower died. One of the families was the Stephen Hopkins family, and he had a daughter named Constance. Well, Constance met Nicholas Snow, who came over on the inn in 1623. They got married and had 12 children.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I know. It gets better. Anyway, in 1644, Plymouth was sort of exploding, and they wanted more space. And they looked at the Nauset area and decided to give it a shot. So in 1644, 49 people, 7 different families, came over from Plymouth, the only ones to come over directly from Plymouth. And they set up what was originally Nauset Plantation, and in 1651 became Eastham.
Oh.
But Eastham grew and grew to the point where in 1757, it was in 2 different parishes, and the South Parish wanted to take off by themselves. So they separated and became a town of their own. So along comes this fellow, what do we call it? Obviously we've got an Eastham, what do we call this South Parish? And the great-great-great-great-grandson of Stephen Hopkins, Isaac Snow, said, let's call it Orleans, because in the Revolutionary War, he was a prisoner of war twice.
Oh, really?
Escaped from an English jail, made it over to France, where at the time there was a revolution going on, and the Duc d'Orléans was a big deal. He was for fraternity, equality, and all that magoo. And so, and of course there was Lafayette too. And so they said, okay, let's call it Orleans. So ours is the only un-English name on Cape Cod. And that's how we came about.
Well, very good. So now, I know you've got quite a bit of things that go on or have gone on. Can you explain what took place here from that time?
Sure. This meeting house was built in 1834, and it was the meeting house of the Universalist Church. There were a lot of ship captains who were in the Universalist Church, and they were the ones who funded the construction. So then...
So I just got one question. So the parish was here, but not this not this meeting house. Was there another meeting house before that?
An original one, yes, would have been right around Town Cove.
Okay.
That was when it was Eastham.
Yes, okay.
And then when it split, it really split, and we had an Orleans of its own. So this was built in Orleans, and it went on for quite a while until the numbers of parishioners began to dwindle. And so it joined forces with the Congregationalist Church and became the the Federation Church, which is right down the street. And the Federation Church was the one that did the adult services. And this became the home for the Sunday school.
Well, like the parish house almost.
Yes, yes. And then in 1971, the Federated Church, the Universalist Society, the Federated Church, donated the building to the Orleans Historical Society. So that's why we're here where we are.
Wow,
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, so what else went on in Orleans?
Well, we had a salt works of substance. Think all these fishermen needing to preserve the fish, and they would evaporate seawater in salt works to preserve the fish, and that was quite an operation for a while until around the Civil War.
Okay.
Speaking of Civil War, in 1865, the Old Colony Railroad eventually made it to Orleans, and that changed the complexion of the town completely. It went from a fishing industry to a tourist industry.
Okay, that early. Wow.
So.
And so, was there? I understand there was a ship that was out that they used to bomb.
Well, there were two actually.
Okay.
This was the only town in all of the United States that was bombed in two different wars.
Really?
The War of 1814 and World War I.
Wow. I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, the only in the country, the whole country.
Really?
The one in 1814 was down by Rock Harbor, and the British were trying to keep Orleans from moving their salt out.
Oh.
So they were blockading.
Interesting.
And they didn't want, they threatened to blow up the salt works if they didn't get their way. Well, Brewster took the bait and they paid the ransom, but Orleans didn't.
Really?
And Orleans fired back and
I like that.
for which reason the motto of the town is defiant but self-reliant.
I like that too. That's very nice.
So in World War I, there was a submarine off of Nauset Beach, and there was a tugboat called the, what was it? Perth Amboy. And they shelled it, and a whole bunch of people came out on the beach and raised holy heck. And they went away. It was a German submarine off
Wow.
the coast of the beach. We have a lot of artists
Yes.
in this area. I can show you a couple. The one right here, that building is a house that in town that was drawn by Vernon Smith, and another Vernon Smith is the Jonathan Young windmill.
Oh, the windmill.
Right.
Yes.
He and another artist, a entirely different kind of artist. His work is over in the case there.
Oh, definitely.
Peter Hunt. We had exhibits on both of these people. In 1952, out of the Coast Guard station in Chatham, there was a tanker called the Pendleton that wrecked and was in need of rescue. The people from the 36-500, 4 of them, went out in 60-mile-an-hour winds and 40-foot high waves.
Oh my goodness.
And in this little 36-foot boat, and they rescued 32 people from the tanker.
32
people from the tanker Pendleton, when it was only good for 4 people, and they got 32 more in the rescue section.
And they brought them all?
They brought them all out.
32.
32.
With
yeah.
winds and that.
So for that reason, the 4 crew members were given the Coast Guard gold medal.
You should.
Which made the boat a gold medal boat. And to this day, it is the single most important rescue mission in Coast Guard history. So, as of 1981, the Historical Society has owned the boat.
Oh, really?
And it's housed in the summer at Rock Harbor. And we have 3 centers. A couple of years ago, they gave it a working name of the CHO, the Centers for Culture and History in Orleans.
Okay, yes, that was something we were going to drive by. So.
And the second center, besides the meeting house, is the Hurd Chapel, which was built in the cemetery and as a memorial for a family, Hurd family. And they ran out of room over there, so they brought it across the street and put it on the corner here. So that is now the repository of the Historical Society's archives and also administrative offices. So we've got 3 buildings, with this other center, of course, being the 36-500. And both the meeting house and the 36-500 are on the National Register of Historic Places.
Well, thank you very much.
You're so welcome.
Unless we missed something.
I hope so.
Okay, thank you.
My name's Chris Berardi.
And do you own the...
I own it with my wife, Kelly.
Hi, Kelly. Hi, how are you? Good. So tell me about the shop, because this looks fascinating.
It's been open for 65 years. We've owned it for 5. We make everything custom. Well, we make everything to order. We also do custom stuff. So we have a big array of lights that we make that are on the website. But you know, if somebody has something they say, I need this and this, we can make that. We make it all out of sheet metal and hand tools, and this is the whole crew. We have 2 part-time guys who aren't here today, but this is who makes your lanterns.
Wow, and do you sell them online, or is
We
it
sell online, yep.
Great.
Online walk-ins, and we do a lot of work over the phone with customers who are trying to find the right size, right style.
That is so cool. And so how did you get into this business?
I was always worked with my hands. I was a woodworker, I was a carpenter, and this business was up for sale, and it fit for us, so we bought it.
And how did you learn? How did you learn to do it?
I learned on the fly. I bought it, and we just learned as we went. I knew I could do it. I started building a lot of the, the stock stuff right away. That was pretty easy, and then within a few months, I was able to build pretty much everything we got.
This one looks like he's got a Dremel over here.
Yeah, it's a flexion.
And you get to polish them?
Yep, I get the fun job.
And hi. Can you tell me what your name is, first of all?
My name is Teresa.
And Teresa, I hear you're one of the artists?
I am. I do the pottery and ceramics.
Oh. How long has the store existed? Do you know?
10 years.
About 10. And is it a co-op where different artists?
It's a cooperative art gallery.
Oh, cool.
10 artists. And we all live on the Cape.
Love this stuff. Who does this resin with all the loose? Look at the, oh my goodness. Now, how many artists do you have? Oh, wow. Oh, I love this. Wow. Driftwood.